Hi, my name is Gabe Arnold. I'm the founder and CEO of Business Marketing Engine, or BME for short. And today, what I want to share with you is why your sales go up and down like a seesaw and how you can fix that. So stay tuned and I'll break it down for you. So last week, I had the pleasure of recording a podcast with a new friend of mine, Anthony Aramini. I definitely encourage you to check that out. It's down in my feed a little bit farther, depending on where you're watching this, or if you just look on YouTube, Today's Business Leaders, it will be there, and it's on our site too at Business Marketing Engine. But definitely check it out because it was one of the most powerful episodes I've had recently, and it's because Anthony has spent a significant amount of time researching, thinking through, and really breaking down what makes sales successful. So I want to just share a couple of things that we talked about on the podcast and break them down here a little bit for you, but definitely go check out the whole episode because will be game changing for you if you've ever struggled with sales for yourself or building a sales department. And one of the reasons why it just really was impactful to me is that Anthony, explained like millions of years ago, or long ago, whatever timeline you believe is accurate there. But we know that millions of years ago, we were just all hunters, right? We were hunter gatherers, and so as hunters for our community that we lived in, our village where we are, we would go out, we would hunt, we would find our next meal. We'd be thrilled if we caught something. We'd come back and we'd have food for a few days, and we would be set. But then the food would run out, and then we'd go do the same thing again. And it was a habit of, in some senses, instant gratification, because relatively quickly, like, oh, I'm hungry, I'm going to go hunt for my food. Now I got my food. And so we have this pattern of, having a need, going to find it, satisfying the need, getting the result. And we did that for thousands, if not millions of years. But then as we've come into the age we're in now, only in the last few hundred years with the technology age that we're in, from the Industrial Revolution, or even before that with some of the technology that was coming out, to where we are today with massive growth in technology, we still have this mindset of like, if I want something, I can click and have it. I mean, so many of us now have same day, overnight, or within hours delivery for many of our, favorite online retailers, right? So we have this natural programming in our brain that teaches us, I have a desire, I'm going to go get it, I want to get the result immediately. And there's some areas where that's fine. But when it comes to sales, if we have the mindset of like, oh, I need sales, so I'm going to go do a blitz and try to sell a bunch of people, we are still having this very transactional one-to-one, like I have a desire and I need to fill it right now. And so I hope when I get on my next sales call, they buy, and I hope the next one they buy, and the next one they buy. And that would be great if that's how things worked. But that's not actually how sales works. Consistent sales and growing sales for a company comes from consistency over time, because I remember when I heard, I was in a mastermind event with Jay Abraham, and he, and you can look him up if you don't know who he is, but he's written some amazing books and is one of the highest paid consultants in the world. And he was breaking down and explaining that when you make an offer to an audience of people, say there's 1,000 people or a couple thousand people or whatever it is, there's a small percentage, and I don't remember the exact percentages, but I'll estimate what they were. Like there's a small percentage. It's like, maybe it's 2 to 3% that want to buy right now. So they'll buy from right now, and that's great. And you can serve them and work with them and solve their problems. Then there's another group of people. Let's make it easy percentages. We'll say 5% want to buy right now. The next 15% of people want to buy soon. So they're going to need some nurture and follow up, and they're interested, but they're not quite ready. I'm often in that position as a buyer because I don't buy things quickly. So I think about it. I'll decide, do I want this? Am I ready? So that's that next chunk of people is going to buy soon. But then the 80% of people are going to buy much later. And so if you're consistent with them, then when their need arises and they move from that, I'm going to buy sometime in the future, to I'm thinking about it soon, to I want to buy now, then you can really capitalize on that relationship that you have with them. And so with sales, we have that hunter mindset where we're like, I'm hungry, I want to go, kill something and eat it. That's our kind of prehistoric brain. If we apply that mindset to sales, we will have an up and down seesaw of sales. It'll be an emotional roller coaster, and we'll be focusing on the wrong thing. But if we instead step back and say, okay, what really makes sales? since sales are made by consistent communication, consistent follow-up over time. I always tell this story. I've had many like this, but one of the most recent ones is a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago now, 3.5 years ago, quite a while ago now, which you'll understand in a minute. I had an amazing sales conversation with somebody. I knew we were a great fit. I knew we could solve their problems. And they're like, I love what you're talking about. I'm not quite ready. I'm like, all right, cool. They're like, follow up with me in a month. Cool. Followed up in a month. And they're like, I still love what you guys are talking about. It makes sense to me, but I'm not ready yet. And so every month, once or twice a month for 22 months, almost 2 years, I followed up with this client and they're like, you know what? Your follow-up is outstanding. We're ready to work with you. Let's dive in. And now this client has become a 6-figure client with us and will continue to do more business with us because we stuck with it and we kept following up. And so that's how sales are made. It's by consistency over time. And so we often neglect the future with good intentions because we want to, we want something now, but we neglect our future because we're either focused on the fact that we think we can have all right now, quick buy transactional, conversations, or we sell a huge project and we're so busy with delivering that, which is absolutely something we should do. We should deliver great results, or we should deliver the products, or we should deliver what we were paid for, but we start to forget about sales because we're busy in that area. And so it's so important, if we want to take our sales from the up and down roller coaster to the predictable climb, that we keep investing in our sales department. We keep investing in prospecting. We keep doing those things on a daily basis, and we protect that golden time in our day and our week. Because when we are doing that, we're building that consistency over time. And we never know at the outset when we're talking to a handful of prospects, we don't know specifically all the time. We don't know, are they ready to buy now? Are they going to buy soon? Or are they going to buy sometime in the future? And so if we think everybody's in the buy now category, we'll be disappointed. We'll show up with the wrong energy for our calls. We'll make a lot of mistakes. But if we show up with the intention of like, success in sales means that I'm consistent on a daily basis and the results will come when they come, that's when we can really build long-term success in our sales, and we can fix that seesaw, roller coaster, whatever scary analogy we want to use, that we do feel when cash goes up and down. The last thing that I'll recommend for you is make sure that you don't just rely on a single channel for new leads, for new business, for new opportunities, because if you're just relying on referrals, those are going to dry up at times and you can't scale it. If you're just relying on Facebook ads, Facebook is going to screw you over at some point because that's what they do. And it's going to break or not work. If you're just relying on any single channel, then you're going to struggle. So make it a goal and intention to at least have 2 performing channels and then add on more as you go, because that's what's going to create stability in sales over the long run. So I hope this has been helpful for you. If you need any help with generating new clients and bringing in new business and having a consistent channel that you can work out of all the time to grow your business, please reach out. We have multiple different ways that we can serve you with that. You can reach us at businessmarketingengine.com. I hope you enjoyed today's show, and I appreciate you taking time to tune in, and I look forward to seeing you next week.